We'll move on to 7.2, and this is a review and discuss the City of Granbury street plan and provide direction to the city manager regarding the implementation of this plan. So, Mr. Kaufman, I'll let you go discuss this great work you've done.
So in your packet, I uploaded this document for the world to see. It's a windshield study of the road system. We hired a consultant for a pretty affordable price. They drove up and down every road and identified it. You can see they scored it. Good being yellow or gold, however you interpret that color. Fair being turquoise, and poor being, well, turquoise or blue, depending on the road surface, or poor being purple or red. And so the red is the asphalt, and that's what we're talking about doing in this as far as capital improvements. A little background, we have done this study in the past and appropriated $1 million a year to go towards the streets to replace, improve, build new, whatever we needed to do to provide transportation efforts through the community. We're not being able to keep up with the pace of the deteriorating roads. And none of y'all were here 10 years ago when they interviewed me, and they asked me if I had any questions, and there were two questions I asked, and the one I'll talk about tonight is I asked them, what's the deal with the roads? Why are they such poor condition? And so we've endured this for 10 years, and we followed the prescriptive guidelines that were given to us with our previous study, and it's proven to not be enough. You can see there's more red on this map than there were probably 10 years or 8 years ago when we did the study, 7 years ago. And so it was a 7-year plan at that time, and we need to be more aggressive and more diligent in addressing these roads. The roads are a key piece of infrastructure that we need to maintain, and they're an investment for our community. Our citizens drive on them and deserve to have a better road than what we're able to provide in a lot of places. So with that, there's a prescription in the back to do $1.5 million, $2 million worth of road paving reconstruction every year for the next few years. And if we were to do that, first off, we don't have the money in our general fund just to do that every budget cycle at the current revenue rates that we do. So if we were to borrow money to do year one, and then borrow money to do year two, and then borrow money to do year three, and so on, the issuance cost on those bonds for those small amounts would be very expensive. The issuance cost, you got to go through the lawyers. They have a base minimum amount they're going to charge you to do them. So I would recommend that we do a large bond package for street improvements at some point in the next few months, or maybe in the next year. I would say the sooner the better, but what I would like to do is engage TMP Engineering. They've been working with Highway 377 for over 12 years, and they're very intimately involved in Granbury, and they represent us at the Council of Government on many functions. When there's a meeting that they're talking about road systems at the Metropolitan Planning Organization or what have you, they go for that and do that for us for free. They're the ones that did our study on Old Granbury Road, and I would like to visit with them. And this plan that was put together was not by an engineer. It's by a firm that does studies like this, and they put together numbers based on what they thought it would cost to do certain things, and it's a little over $8 million that they were looking at. But there's also some other roads that need to be addressed, and I'm interested in this report. It's talking about improving a concrete street, and I need to find out from the engineer what it is you can do for a concrete street to make it better, where it's scoring in the turquoise. There's some kind of maintenance that needs to be done, and I would like to find out what a professional engineer would say that we need to do to some of these roads. Put it all together and come back and show you some more results at a later date. But more importantly, tonight I wanted to give you an opportunity to ask questions about this study or any comments you may have. But I would like to know if I'm on the right trail putting this together. I don't want to chase a rabbit and bring it back to y'all and say you're crazy. So just looking for a little direction. And so I'm all ears, and I'm trying to answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Corrigan?
I don't know that I have any questions. I mean, we've been talking about this for the last couple of years at least. For when I first got on council, we were fairly consistently having to rob Peter to pay Paul, and the streets just continued to get neglected, and I believe it was 2018, something like that, when we finally said, okay, enough's enough, we can't keep doing this. So I appreciate you putting this together. I think whether we want to do it or not, it's a no-brainer. We cannot maintain the streets that need to be repaired at $1 million a year. It's just not feasible, as we've seen over the last several years. We're going to have to do something, and in doubling that amount is probably the bare minimum that we could do. I mean, realistically, we could probably triple that amount, and would still take us 8 to 10 years to get it all done. So I appreciate the work you put into this. I think we're moving in the right direction.
Thank you.
Other comments?
Yeah,
Mr.
so,
Oberdehr?
I mean, we've talked about this quite a bit. I mean, and this, the $1 million a year, I mean, obviously we're spinning our wheels. We're not really getting ahead of anything, and we never will get ahead of the $1 million a year. We also talked about concrete versus asphalt, and so we know some of the ins and outs of that. So no, I think you've done exactly the right thing. I think this is a good thing to start with, good thing to give us something to look at. But we're definitely going to have to come up with something more than $1 million a year. And that's obviously doing some kind of a bond, and so I'd be in favor of that.
Other? I just wanted to note that the book is online for you to pull up and review. And as you review it, you'll find that there are two graphs in here that show, much like this one. I don't know if this one is, I can tell, but they're 2019 and 2025. So they're 6 years apart. And you very quickly can see that some of the same problems that we had 6 years ago, we have today. Some of the roads that were rated good 6 years ago are rated medium or poor today. The efforts are commendable. The task just keeps getting bigger and bigger and tougher. So I too am certainly supportive of getting more information and reaching a conclusion on this that we can go into 25 or 26 and beyond. Mentioning too that this coming Monday we have our budget review. And we will be this will be one of the things I'm sure that we're going to get deeper into in that budget review, and you are all invited to it's out at the conference center, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the conference center starting at 8:30. What?
Second floor.
Second floor, yeah, on the second floor, right. So, yeah, more to be said, more to be done. So, yes, please. Bring the information to us as an alternative to where we are today.
You can look on the map that's on your screen, Old Granbury Road. The asphalt's in fair or poor condition, depending on where you're at. And as you know, we've been working with the county through a study for Old Granbury Road. They've got their master thoroughfare plan adopted. They're moving forward, and they're talking about doing some projects to improve mobility and issuing debt as well. So this is a hot topic right now in the county, and we certainly want to let the public know what we're doing, and look forward to more conversations. But with your blessing, I will engage TMP to meet with me on July 2nd and I set the meeting before I came, pending the outcome of this meeting. So I'll get with them on July 2nd.
Thank you.
So
Mr.
do we need
Rodriguez?
a resolution for a future agenda item or no?
Not yet,
No.
but I would just be confident that I understand what you're saying, and we're going to work on this and try to put together a comprehensive approach to address every street in town based upon, and then prioritize it based upon the matrix laid out in this plan, based on how important that area is. Not that there's a road that's not important, but let's face it, the dirt road that it used to be paved that goes down from Howard Clemens to the last furthest hangar is not as high a priority as the one by the hospital or the school. So we've got priority streets we need to really pay attention to. And then we've got areas that we're going to be replacing water lines and things like that we don't need to pave right now until later. We need to stage it till the pipes are replaced. So there's a little bit of coordination that needs to go into a plan a little more advanced than what I've presented to you tonight. So we'll get something put together, and we'll use engineers to help us through that process.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yeah, that was my question. Chris, I see the priority map that they have, and does that fall in with how we're doing the capital improvement physical year by physical year, based on that priority, and also the different key factors that you mentioned, whether or not we need to get it done now or later because of the different projects we have in the city?
Absolutely. It's a layered onion or a Rubik's Cube or whatever analogy you want to use. It's a very detailed plan that we need to put together, and then we need to implement it, and it's going to take money to implement. So we'll try to phase it in 2 or 3 different layers so that you'll have options. You won't feel like I'm just making you issue more money than you're comfortable with. I want you and the public to be comfortable with what we're doing. So.
One other thing, Chris, is I'd like for them to also take in consideration, like we did in Industrial Boulevard and M&M Road, where we put concrete at the approaches. That is where all the traffic comes at a dead stop. So it's pushed. At that time, it was the asphalt that was there was getting pushed and pushed and pushed downhill. So hopefully they're taking that into consideration because of the incline or decline of those roads or the amount of traffic that road has to handle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You didn't mention the work on 377. While not something that we would do in the city, there's going to be city traffic on city streets as we avoid 377, and I know that some of that's in this plan too. But this is this is now. We have to start addressing this at full speed. We can't continue to do what we've been doing and expect better results.
So, I will just say this, and I don't want to say anything negative about the history, but 10 years ago, about this same time, we paved that road right in front of the Napa store on what they call Plaza Drive. And if you look at this map, it's showing it needs to be replaced in that area. And that was because it was not addressing the subgrade of the road, and it had failed, and that's what's happened again. So when we talk about reconstructing a road, we're going to do it to engineered standards, unlike what they were doing with that last bond issue. I guess it was a 2014 bond issue at the time that was funding some of those paving projects. So another area is on Travis Street, failed again. What we've already repaved part of it, and it's still in good shape, but the part that we didn't repave that was paved in 10 years ago has failed. And so it's real disappointing to see that, and I want the people of our community to know that we're going to do it right this time, and we're going to get that base where it holds up, and then there's maintenance that needs to occur on these roads too. And some of these that are in fair condition now need a seal coat, a chip seal put on them to make them last longer, to where we don't have to replace them in 2 or 3 years. So we'll put all this together with a maintenance plan and a capital improvement plan, and put some numbers to it, and bring it back to you as quickly as possible.
Appreciate it. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.